Hello and welcome to lesson 31 of the workbook in A Course in Miracles. Good to have you back. And we are getting straight into the exercise. So the headline of lesson 31 is I am not the victim of the world I see. But I think that today's lesson is mostly about the exercise and the meaning behind that sentence. For me, there is not too much other teachings. In today's lesson, it really focuses on applying a kind of new way as well of exercise that we had so far, which is pretty exciting. But for me, the essence of the sentence of this lesson is very easy to accept. This is actually something I teach all the time in my program to my students, in my podcast. I talk about this all the time, that we are not victims in this game called life. It's pretty detrimental actually to keep playing the victim if that's what you might be doing at this point in time, because you are giving your power away. Whenever we show signs of being the victim, which are, for example, to blame others, to complain about things, to not take responsibility, these are all signs for playing the victim in your life. If you do these kind of things, it means you are giving your personal power, your energy away to other people, to circumstances, to the situation, to whoever is part of that environment that you are in. And if you are not in your own full power, then it's really hard to make changes. You might be trying, but because you are of course giving away your power and say, well, I can't do anything about it, that's not my fault, you are actually not in the best place to make long-lasting or impactful changes in your life. And of course, I talk about change a lot in my teachings and my podcast, and that is one of the big things that people have to realize, that if they are playing the victim, that they are giving their power away, and that means you are not in your full energy, you're not in your full power to make lasting changes. Very, very important. And being the victim in your life is actually never really the right choice, because you are already kind of telling yourself that you can't do anything about it, or that you are not in control of yourself in that situation. And of course, there are circumstances where we can't do anything about it, but we still can decide to not play the victim. We can decide to just let it go and say, well, it is what it is, I can't change anything about it, and be okay with it. We don't have to play the victim just because we can't change something around us. But if it comes down to the teachings of A Course in Miracles, if you have gone through the last 30 days, as I have, you know very well that you are the creator of your life. We are creating our reality through our thoughts. We have learned this in the previous lessons, that our thoughts that we are sending out into the world get reflected back. And at this moment in time, these thoughts might be false thoughts or attack thoughts. They might not be the right ones yet. So they create situations that get reflected back to us. And we think, well, that's not what I want, or this is not how I planned it. And then we might assume that we are victims of the situation. But you have gone through the last 30 days, so you know very well that you are the creator and that you're a powerful being that creates everything in their reality. And that's why the teaching of today's lessons makes complete sense to me. It's very easy to accept, resulting out of the other teachings, that we are obviously not the victim of the world that we see, because we are the creators of the world that we see. very easy to accept if you accept all the other teachings. Might it feel uncomfortable? Yes, it might feel uncomfortable, but it works 100% of the times. You cannot just say, oh, 70% of the time I'm the creator, but these other 30%, I'm not the creator. That wasn't me. That's not my responsibility. I'm the victim here. You just can't do that. You have to go all in. It's universal. It works all the time. The universe is self-reflective. It reflects everything back to you that you are sending out 100% of the times. And it's hard if you have situations where you know you're complaining about, you're blaming others, you're blaming the government, you're blaming other people, you're blaming the situation of your upbringing or your parents, whatever it is. If you do that, just be okay with it. And now you can change. Be kind to yourself. You didn't know any better until today, until lesson 31. We are now done with being the victim, okay? Promise me that. Pinky swear. Okay. So that's all what I wanted to share about lesson 31, and I'm looking forward to see you again for lesson 32 tomorrow. Bye bye.